Hello, Queens. Hi, Queens. I'm here to talk to you today about pageants and politics. I know that politics are a little bit of a sticking point these days. I'm not talking about Democrat or Republican. No, no, no. I'm talking about politics in a pageant. What is it, first of all? Well, it's things that you need to know. It's hot buttons and topics that the pageant director finds important or things you need to know in order to win your pageant. For example, if you have a pageant where there is a platform, let's just say like Brave, the USA National Miss pageant has Brave as their platform, you should probably do something with that, right? So sometimes you have a certain organization that the pageant is aligned with. First rule of pageant politics is pay attention to who the sponsors are. And it's really important for you to know that this is something that, again, plays into what the director wants, what the sponsors want. Maybe it's going to be someone who is a big contributor to the pageant. So you've got to know who the players are. How can you find that out? Pageant coach. So the pageant coach that you hire needs to understand the politics of the system. That means, is it a fair pageant? If it isn't, who do you need to be involved with, or what vendors do you need to use? There's certain pageants out there that require you to use, it's an unspoken thing, but you do need to use their sponsors. You kind of need to figure out and navigate that, right? How to win Miss World? My opinion is that a lot of pageants have big players in it. And so Miss World has a certain formula for winning it. They want a certain look. You need to really do a lot of research on the system and see what it is that they consistently look for. I feel like with Miss World, there are certain countries you can expect are going to be the big players in the game. And if you're not one of those countries, you need to figure out how to up your game to compete with the bigger countries, because those countries have great pageant coaches. They have amazing wardrobe. They are able to really teach you how to play that field. Again, politics, you need to know what's important to the director. What are the sticking points? Is it that you are making regular social media posts, that you're making a lot of appearances? Is it all beauty-based? Is it about your stage work? Are they looking for someone who has a huge audience on social media or a big following? All of those things come into play. This comes down to research. You can't just enter a pageant and say, yay, I'm in a pageant, and then go do the pageant willy-nilly. That to me is like something you do your first time. Your first time you're permitted to go to your pageant, have zero clue, walk out there, think you're going to nail it, and then you don't. But the second time's on you. So the second time you're in the pageant, you have to say to yourself, all right, the first time didn't work. What do I need to do differently? You probably should figure out who has been doing hair and makeup for the winner. You should probably be figuring out, how can you up your game in interview if that's like the big key to winning that pageant. I would ask former title holders what it was that helped to tip them over the edge or what they recommend. Again, I do think that in every pageant, there are going to be certain contenders who are going to have a favorable lift. Like, for example, in the United States system, it used to be that in that system, there's a certain directorship that always had winners. I think it was because they had a big support system behind them. They had a sponsor team of hair and makeup artists. They had great trainers. They had amazing wardrobe. That's all important for the game if you're going to be successful. But also, does your director have a great relationship with the national director? Or do you not have a director at all, and are you going to nationals and you're literally at nationals with no director? Guess what? You're going to have a difficult time, unless, of course, it's your second time coming back, you're a returnee. But honestly, if you don't have a director, you're not going to be favored. You won't be favored at the pageant unless it's a really fair pageant. And I'm going to say the fairest pageants are the smallest, in my opinion. The bigger the pageant, the bigger the stakes, and the bigger, I think, an influence that the overall national director has on the outcome of the pageant. What can you do? Well, if you're entering into a system you don't know about, you need to align yourself with people who understand the system, who can support you. I always say make friends with the current queen. If you're not friends with the current queen, that is just stupid. Period. You should be getting to know the queen. That way you can ask her, how important is that video that we're supposed to create? Or you could say, what are some of the questions you were asked in the interview room? Or what can I expect for final question? Or do you think that the costume is an important issue that you're being judged on? She'll tell you, or maybe not. If she doesn't return your email, then forget it. Clearly, she doesn't care, or she just doesn't want to help. So you're going to have to make that call and maybe contact the previous queen. The other thing you can do is even contact runner ups, the top 5, the top 10, ask those girls. I usually think top 5 is the better group to ask, or even the first runner up. They'll be honest with you. They'll tell you what happened at the system. They'll be able to see if there's something shady. I will say at a pageant like the Globe pageant, Mrs. Globe, or Ms. Globe, they call it, that I did see that whoever was raising money for the Win Foundation was getting preferential treatment and getting better placement than maybe they should have, and using their sponsors. I found out at the pageant that one of their judges was going to be the sponsor of for hair and makeup, and I didn't use them. Yeah, well, I couldn't have figured that out. I did have friends who had done the pageant who were giving me advice, so I was using that. Sometimes even if you know the politics of a system and you have friends who have done well, who have maybe won or gotten first runner up or gotten another title, they still can't help you because every single year there's a different type of a scenario that could happen. You never know what can happen. Sponsors can switch out. The national director could change their mind in that they have a different judging system this year than previous years. You could have a judge, there's 5 judges, let's just say. One of the judges there could lowball you because they want another girl to win. That actually happened to me at the Mrs. United States system, where I was given a lowball score of a 6 consistently by one judge because she wanted her girl to win, who she did end up winning. But when it's a 6 out of a possible 15, there's absolutely no way to win and to gain those points back. 0 way. So you really can only do so much, and those are the systems that I try to avoid. Any system where you really have that little control of the outcome because they haven't navigated their judges very well and they have agendas. You never know what people's agendas are. So my recommendation to you is make friends with the current queen or runners up from the previous years or previous queens from previous years. Ask questions. You really need to do your research. If you're heading into a big pageant like Miss World, you absolutely cannot do well at a pageant like that without support. That means you need your directors to have a clue. Not every director cares. I hate to say it. The directors care about either A, getting their own stage filled up, or B, filling a slot for their country, but they may not be engaged. The best director is one who's had previous winners, who really has a stake in it and an investment in you being successful. I think you'll know that because they'll have someone ready for you for coaching, or maybe you'll know that she's coached previous winners or your country has won previously. If your director has never had a winner, it's not going to be great because they really can't guide you. And they probably don't have as good a relationship with the national director. That's just my personal opinion. But anything can happen. It's a pageant. Just remember that. Anything at all can happen. Countries that you think or states that you think are going to win don't. And again, they could be looking for a girl who's fresh and new. The best way you can approach this pageant is you have got to be the best you can be in every single aspect of preparation. Your social media should be on point. Your wardrobe, your walking, your figure, your interview, everything has to be on point because you have to be that much better if you don't have that support system around you. So just know there are politics for each and every system. You need to learn them. It's preferential that you have a coach who is adept at figuring that out for you or knows people. One thing that I provide to my clients is not only do I provide to them the political climate of every pageant system, they don't always want to hear it, by the way. I've had clients ask me, I tell them, they don't like my answer. They hire another coach. Guess what? That person didn't help them win either. So there's only so much we can do if you're not willing to take the feedback. So the feedback on every system is going to be very different, but you have to be willing and able to take direction and to understand that sometimes it's just the way it is and you're not going to change that. You make the best of the pageant, you get the most out of it in PR or connections or publicity for yourself and experience. And we're not going to win them all, right? So you do your very best, put your best foot forward. When you have a great pageant coach, I like to connect people. So I'll find out, oh, let me find out who's doing hair and makeup at that pageant. I'll get you the best one there. So your pageant coach has got to be navigating the water for you. If your pageant coach is just meeting with you the 1 hour and then you never are able to get any other additional help on how to connect to the best hair and makeup people, or what kind of wardrobe, where should you go, where could you find these things, what kind of shoes can you get? If they're not helping you with those things, I don't really get it, because that's the job. Just plain and simple, that is the job. So they're there to help you win. Now, I'm a full service pageant coach, so I help you with all aspects of preparation. And if I don't have the answer for you, I'll find out, because I have connections throughout the industry where I can ask other people that I know. I'll say, you know what, let me ask. I'm going to find out from them what they think. And then I'll get some outside feedback, because sometimes, you're not going to have all the answers as a pageant coach, but you'll know somebody who does have the answer. So that's the deal, guys. If you don't realize there's politics in every single system, then you're not playing the game well. If you do realize that, chances are you've won a pageant before, and you've also been able to navigate waters and be a top 5 and do really well for yourself. But certainly if you're going into international waters, that is going to be a whole different ball of wax, because you do have to navigate international pageants very differently, because it's not your home country. And you need to know what that director wants from you. For example, when I did Mrs. United Nations, that's the picture that I have up right now. To that director, it was really important that I was from a big country like America. It was really important to him that I was marketing and promoting his system and recruiting people. It was really important to him that I was going to make donations to the charity and be very involved in that. It was very important to him that I was presenting this pageant in a certain way in terms of my wardrobe and my photos and everything that I did. And I went the extra mile for it. It could have been an easy loss. I could have lost like that. And not for any reason other than politics. So you have to realize that politics can truly tip the scale in an instant, and that there's nothing you can do about it. The only thing you can do is be prepared and ready. And that means creating alliances at the pageant. You should be nice to everybody, from the people you're emailing with to the people that you meet when you walk in the door. Everything has got to be in place, and that's why they're called politics. Right? So it's been a great time to be able to share a little bit of information with you guys. If you have any more questions, please place them below. And if you want to see any additional new types of videos, please share them with me, because I would love to help. Subscribe and share. Of course, please share with any friends that you think could really benefit from my knowledge. And I would love to be able to help you. So we will see you very soon, because I'm going to be making videos every single week. So please check back with me. I'm handling all aspects of preparation for all ages, all levels, and all systems. Have a wonderful day. And don't forget to wear your invisible crown. Bye.